Welcome to the CyberFed Show. I'm Dan Manson. I teach computer information systems at Cal Poly Pomona. Each week, this broadcast will cover the world of cybersecurity competitions, similar to a sports show. We believe cybersecurity competitions are like a sport. In these shows, we drill down into competitions and provide stories, scores, and statistics. We believe those that participate in competitions are cyber athletes, with the same training, passion, and coolness, plus a few additions. The opportunities for these athletes to go pro is much greater. And in our world today, we are falling behind our real competition. Let's get started. Last week, CyberFed covered how the Troy High School Cyber Patriot program is partnering with nearby Ladera Vista Middle School. Students at Ladera Vista walk over to Troy after school to be mentored by Troy High School students in Cyber Patriot. We are interviewing today two alumni from Troy High School, Ben Dillon and Matt Sprengel. Ben and Matt competed in Cyber Patriot and are now students at Cal Poly Pomona. Ben, Matt, welcome to the CyberFed Show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Last week we saw a very interesting segment on your alma mater, Troy High School. Both of you started playing Cyber Patriot in Troy and now are students here at Cal Poly Pomona. Can you talk about why you started at Cyber Patriot? What was the experience like and how you went from there?
Well, sure. This is the point where I'd love to tell you, I walked in the door freshman year and I said, I knew this was for me. But that's not quite how it turned out. I walked in the door, I went to the first information session my freshman year. I sat in the room and was bored to death as they tried to explain to me why defending systems and why changing configs and updating things was interesting. And I said, well, I can go shoot BB guns over there on that other team. Maybe I'll give them a try first.
That sounded like more fun.
It did seem like more fun. Eventually, I came around to it. I was an alternate in a round my sophomore year, and somebody dropped out before we went to the San Diego Mayor's Cyber Cup, and they said, hey, do you want to play? And I said, sure. And ever since, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I mean, it's one of the things you don't understand that it's fun until you do it. And you've never seen a group of kids more excited, to find malware or to find vulnerability than, they're screaming out that we got the points. It's totally absurd to watch. So I competed until my senior year. I led the team my senior year. We went to nationals. It was really a fantastic experience of growing and learning, and through that, in my high school career, I exited high school knowing exactly what I wanted to do, which is a opportunity not a lot of people get.
Matt?
I'm a little slightly different story. I started playing my freshman year because I thought I knew something about computers. I thought, I'm going to be really good at this. I didn't know anything. The only thing I knew was there's this thing called a firewall, and that Windows Updates magically pops on whenever you don't want it to. Other than that, I didn't really know anything, so it was kind of a learning experience. I didn't really know it was what I wanted to do until nationals my senior year. I had applied everywhere as a mechanical engineer, and then I ended up getting accepted to Cal Poly as a mechanical engineer, but after nationals, I'm like, dang, I really want to do cyber.
The experience that you had in high school, both your classroom experience, but especially the extracurricular experience, did that give you a confidence and a focus, and did you lead to other opportunities? Ben, you went to a camp between high school and college in cybersecurity. Was that one of the things that your confidence allowed you to pursue?
Yeah, so knowing what I knew and what I didn't know coming out of high school, it really, it really drove me to want to seek out opportunities for how to learn more. And I'd heard about this camp, the US Cyber Challenge. They run a quiz, and you take the quiz, and if you place in the top, percentile, you're invited out to a camp in San Jose. So I took the quiz, and I was able to place, and I went to the camp. And it was a really fantastic experience. They gave you, 3 or 4 days of training from professional, SANS instructors, really heavy stuff. You have to drink from the fire hose there. I, went back to the dorm room every night and my brain hurt. And I went, oh, well, half of that just fell out of my brain, but I'm going to come back to it later, and I'm going to, being exposed to it was incredibly valuable. The other thing that I was exposed to up there was the different companies that are involved in cybersecurity. One of the things that's always been interesting to me is the companies you don't expect that have these huge presences. when I was up at the camp, I was talking to some of the employees from Facebook about some ideas I had about, cyber competitions and some outreach and education stuff. And I was able to then, continue that conversation and turn it into an internship following my freshman year of college. So, being involved in high school, having that, understanding of the education as well as some of those technical skills, allowed me to get real world experience and prove to people that it was, something I was invested in and something that I was, dedicated to learning. So, having these experiences makes it really, really, make you a really tempting target for some of these companies to go after. My brother went to the San Diego Mayor's Cyber Cup this past year, and he came home and said, "Ben, everyone wants to give me an internship," and I said, "That's fantastic." But being involved in this at a young age has career opportunities involved.
I want to talk about parents, because to me one of the challenges today is that parents really don't look at cybersecurity as a profession, as a field that you can aspire to, like engineering or medicine or law. But I think you're seeing that it at least is on its way to becoming a profession, and certainly the opportunities are there and growing. What kind of conversations have you had with your parents about going into cybersecurity?
My parents loved the idea. When you look out there, and I originally wanted to be an engineer, and you look at all these top schools and stuff, and you apply as an engineer, there's a good chance that some of those schools are going to turn you away because they have so many engineers. We have enough engineers to probably design everything that we ever could need. But we don't have enough security professionals protecting our nation's infrastructure and all those networks and stuff. So I think there's a really big need for it, and I think people are starting to see that. There's such a big need for it that even the government is starting to increase and do special hiring programs. They have the Scholarship for Service, which I'm a part of, which is a great program and helps pay for your education while encouraging a cyber future. So I think there's a lot of really good opportunities out there. I think parents need to kind of see, hey, this is a great field. It's equally as challenging, if not more, than engineering, because engineering principles have relatively stayed the same with slight changes in new materials or stuff like that. But as a whole, engineering and physics has stayed the same for the past 100 years. Whereas cybersecurity is evolution and changing daily, which means new challenges. And literally, if I go out with a degree today, I'm not going to know anything in 5 years unless I continue to learn, which I think is way more of a more interesting and fulfilling career than something where it's same stuff from 5 years ago.
One of the coolest things I saw last week was the involvement of the principals and the passion that the principals had both at Ladera Vista and Troy High School about the Cyber Patriot program and about starting young and learning through hands-on activities. Is this something that you think is unique to Troy, or is this something that you think any high school and any middle school could be part of?
The way I see it, any school can do it, but there's two ways that it happens. Ours happened in that we had students get involved and interested. Our commander helped organize it that first year. It obviously lived inside our NJROTC program, but the students really helped take it off and make it happen. In the first couple of years, it was all self-taught. All the students were just teaching each other. It was Google, it was reading books, and the momentum grew. And as we started to do well, we were able to get the administration to take notice, and they supported us more and more. And as we showed that, hey, this is viable, and as they realized what the opportunities became, they started to say, hey, yeah, this is awesome. The other side is when you can, which is just as good, if not better, is when you have a teacher or an administrator come out the gate and be very excited about it. Because they can jumpstart a program and do, in a year, what took us a couple years to get going. But either way, I think any school can do this.
What is your prediction for Troy High School this year? I know you have some good teams. Do we plan to see Troy in the finals?
That's the hope. Troy's been doing really fantastic this year. I'm not biased at all. My brother's the captain of the team. Ignore that. But I think that we've got a really strong team. And I think the thing that's most important, I touched on it earlier, is as you have a program that grows and matures, the students just grow and get better and better because they're able to feed off of the experience, and it really just trickles down. And by the time you've had a program around for a couple of years, it really makes it easy to have good teams.
My money's on 2 teams. I think Troy can do it this year. I'd love to see Troy have like 2 teams in all service or an open team. I think it's possible, and I think it'd be amazing.
So it looks like it is like a sport to you. Ben, Matt, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today. I wish you the best of success in the future and the best to Troy.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
If you have a competition you would like us to cover in a future show, please contact us at cyberfed.org. I'm Dan Manson. See you next week.